Add to stream. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, y'all, this is the first time I'm actually streaming to multiple platforms at once, so I hope it's working. Go ahead and leave any comments if you are watching this live and have any questions for me. But we're going to be talking about the meaning of small business according to the federal government. So I think this is really interesting, and if I'm looking around, y'all, it's because I've got one stream here, trying to make sure that I'm getting this information out to lots of people. Hi. So this is what I learned on the radio this weekend, and I'm becoming a little bit obsessed with it. And I think that I'm going to start really looking into it. And that is the definition of small business according to the federal government. And I'm just curious, what do y'all think? What do you think? How many employees, minimum employees, do you think that the federal government considers to be a small business? This is in the United States. Just give me a guess. I would love to see what people would think that number is. All right, let me give some people, seriously, if you're watching this, just let me know what you think. What is your guess? I'm also going to check to make sure that I'm streaming a couple places. Okay, so Lisa says less than 10. That's a great guess. My husband guessed less than 50. And I can't imagine guessing more than 50 or maybe 75 or 100. I tend to think maybe less than 20. So we're on the same page, right? And for those of you just joining, the question is, how many employees do you think a business needs to have in order for the small government to call it a small business? So here's why it matters. There are certain benefits of, federal benefits. Think the PPP. Hi, welcome. Thanks for coming, Florecita. Okay, so I'm going to tell you. The answer is 500. 500 employees or less is what is considered a small business according to the federal government. It's insane. And thank you for your guess, Florecita. So we've got 10. We've got a guess for 10, a guess for 50. My husband also said 50. I thought maybe 20, 25. But nobody would ever guess 500. And here's the craziest part. And y'all, it matters. It does matter. There's so many reasons why. And I'm continuing to look into it. I might even do a whole podcast episode or IGTV on it, because to me, and right now I'm just sort of exploring what that could mean. If you think of things like PPP, that's the payment protection plan thing that came out when COVID happened. If you recall, there were a lot of really big companies that got money, and small businesses, what we think of as a small business, didn't get it. And here's a couple reasons why. Resources. So obviously, right, a big company has so many resources. They have in-house counsel, for example, or they have lots of money to pay outside counsel to prepare their application to get PPP or to get government grants. Or are y'all familiar with government contracting? There's multiple billions of dollars per year set aside specifically from the federal government budget for small businesses. So procurement is a general term for buying things, goods and services needed for operations. So operations of the federal government, for government procurement, they are supposed to spend, a certain amount of money on, or I don't know if I'm saying it exactly right, but there's billions of dollars that are meant for small businesses in the US. And this is for a couple reasons, you would think, right? The rationale, we want to support the economy. And people know that small businesses, I don't even know the exact number, but small businesses make up a very big, significant portion of the US economy. So of course we want to support them, and we want people to be successful and not unemployed and all these things. But when you define small business as less than 500 employees, are you kidding? How huge is that? So that's why all these companies got, and this is my opinions, right, got access to this PPP, and then others were closed out or didn't get access. Y'all, my daughter's daycare closed. I mean, that's one of how many hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of businesses have closed since COVID happened. So it really matters. And anyway, 500. There's other things. So there's PPP, the government contracting, any sort of benefits that the government offers to a small business is going to be offered to anybody with less than 500 employees. So generally speaking, I'm not an expert on it. I'm just now learning about this and exploring it. But I'm curious, if you have any questions, let me know. But what do y'all think the percentage of businesses in the United States have less than 500 employees, like percentage wise. So percentage of all the business in the US, how many of those businesses have less than 500? Let me know your guesses before I give you the answer. And in the meantime, I'm going to double check because this is the first time I've streamed on multiple platforms. So look, there I am. Great. Okay, cool. So I'm on Facebook. If y'all are not following Facebook, it's Startup Hard is the name. That's my business name. I'm trying to stream on YouTube too. I don't know if it's working. Let me check. Oof. Okay, so CMR, I think it's more than 50%, have less than 500, 40%, 60%. Y'all, these numbers are just killing me. I'm getting revved up. Okay, so it's like 90%. 90% or more even. Like some of the numbers I was looking at, it was close to 99. But there's other considerations like whether it's completely domestic or foreign. It includes all affiliates. So the total number, if you are a parent company and you have 6 affiliates, and between those 6 affiliates you have 450 employees, you count for all these like special benefits that the government gives. But it's like 90 something percent. I mean, I'm shocked out of my mind. So like the guesses here are 50%, 40%, and 60%, which totally is in line with like what I was thinking too. I'm shook about this. And the thing is, when I was looking it up, so I heard this on keep saying Market Watch. What is it? Marketplace, which is a segment on NPR. And in fact, I looked yesterday to see if it was up because I wanted to re-listen to the segment. So let me go to npr.org, Marketplace with Kai Ryssdal. Let's see. February 5th, most recent episodes. What's the date today? I think this must be the one. It's up. It says most recent 4-letter word, 40%. Okay, so it must be in this most recent story, but it's a 30-minute long thing, so I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it. But can you guys believe that? I mean, it makes me angry. Yeah, more after COVID event. I'm sure of it. So that's something that I think is really important for people to know about. And I mean, I don't know what to do with the information other than keep looking into it and understanding. But I will say one thing. When I started looking into it last night to figure out, like if you just Google, how does the federal government define small business, you can find pages that are dedicated to answering that question. And there's even like a small business calculator where it's like, answer these questions to see if your business qualifies as a small business. And so I answered the questions, and there were like 3 questions. And for the number of employees, I put in 499, and it said, yes, you qualify. Like my mind is blown. It's so crazy. February 6th. Thank you. Okay, so on February 5th, if y'all are interested, Marketplace is the name of the segment on NPR, is where he was talking about this with a guest. And it was honestly, it was like so enlightening because like what I want to do is create kind of like a running list. What are all the things that, what government benefits, like what are the benefits for small businesses? So I just think it's crazy. How do you guys feel about this? Are you as mad as I am? Oh, I was going to say what drove me so crazy last night is that I was just in bed trying to fall asleep, and I wanted to look into this question more. So I was Googling, and I found this calculator on the .gov federal, some website, maybe it was even SBA, who, by the way, defined it. And I couldn't find a clear answer. Like it kept saying like, pursuant to, federal regulation, yada, 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 is how it's defined based on employees, or I forget if it was sales transactions or revenues or something. But either way, it was almost hard for me to find that 500 number. And so I was just thinking like all these talking heads, and like, I'm not even trying to get like political or controversial, but, people who are leaders in our country talk about things like benefits to small business and how to help small businesses. When a small business is defined as less than 500 employees between all the affiliates, and over 90% of businesses in the US have less than 500 employees, it's kind of like a joke. Like it's just, what are they trying? Who are they really supporting? I guess is my question. Yay, I'm glad. TikTok accountant, you say your small biz clients are getting PPP. So are you helping them file for PPP, or are you you just know that they're getting it? And here's the only good thing that I feel like about PPP is like there was a big mess up. Like whatever, everyone has opinions on like what went wrong or whatever with the first rollout, but there's been multiple rollouts. And TikTok account, you probably know better than I do, whether there's been one more or two more or what, but I feel that they did try to correct the lack of this money going to small businesses. But I know that my daycare closed back in March when everybody's did, and meaning the daycare my daughter goes to. So we had to find alternative childcare, and we still haven't had one. And actually, unfortunately, this is the saddest part to me is that they ended up closing. So they shut down. I want to say it was like June or July. They had tried to get PPP, but it was like a very small operation. It wasn't. They didn't have multiple locations. It was just this one ran by this one lady, and it was legitimate. It had all of its like certificates and everything, but it was truly a small business. Like what we think of as a small business, it was, the owner and then maybe 5 to 10 teachers and then maybe like an assistant. That was it, a small business. And they couldn't manage to, get their application together or whatever, and they closed. So they didn't even get to get that like second round of PPP. Both. Okay, cool. And that's good to know. Like anybody who's in here, follow on TikTok accountant, because she has the goods and the information about how to get PPP or like whatever benefits might be rolled out because COVID's not over. And I'm curious actually then, TikTok accountant, if you have any more information. So the two examples I gave were government contracting and the PPP, which are grants and programs and money, federal money that is available in some form or fashion, whether through contract or through grant, to loan to small business owners. And small business is defined as, generally less than 500 employees. So what are you aware of anything else other than PPP and other than the government contracting and the money that's set aside for that? I know that with government contracting, there's also a focus on like a certain number of businesses or businesses who are POC owned or female owned, that they get some priority and stuff. And that's good. I mean, I think that's actually honing in on a particular like small group that may need help. But when you just give to small business and it's like 90+% businesses in the US, I mean, that's so many. Oh my God, the first rollout was maddening. CMR, CSSS, interested in PPP, but do not qualify due to being a single employee run SB. What is SB? Do you mean sole proprietor? Oh yeah, she just asked it. Sorry, y'all, I'm behind on the comments. They come in slow. Okay, so I hope you're reading that CMR. TikTok account has some answers for you. It's also a good idea to look at your state level grants. Easier to get. Do you need a license to get PPP? TikTok accountant, I wish I could bring you on live with me. I'm gonna guess probably you don't need a license. I mean, any sole proprietor or small business owner, whether you're sole proprietor, LLC, or something else, you need to have your business licenses in order to operate your business legally. But whether it's a requirement to get PPP, I don't know. Okay, let me check on here, make sure there's no comments there. I'm also really trying to see if this is working. Your channel videos. What? All right, I'm all kinds of confused. Okay, that's not working. All right, this is the first time I've gone live on like multiple platforms. Literally have like 4, so I'm trying to manage them. Oh, SB equals small business. Awesome. Okay, no license needed, just an established biz. Yay. Is QuickBooks Self-Employed good to use if I work full-time as a teacher using it for Etsy? Yeah, so I've heard really good things about QuickBooks. Actually, I just did on Instagram yesterday a live with another business lawyer who actually does taxes by day. She helps people do their taxes. Well, basically, after they've messed up and they owe the IRS, that's where she comes in. That's who her clients are. And she says that she has used QuickBooks and recommends QuickBooks. Not sure how to get anything to cover. You want to do this all legal? Well, I have an idea. Go to startupheartup.com/legal. That's my website, and that's the legal landing page. And I actually have a, my angle on Facebook is really bad. So on that website, I have a roadmap, a legal roadmap for small business owners to start their small business from scratch. And I can open it up right now and read some of it to you. But if you download it, there's a little box where you put in your name and info and you download it. It literally has all the major big picture steps. So you can download it and keep it as a checklist. So it includes, for example, clearing your business name from a legal standpoint, getting your P.O. box to help increase your privacy, getting business insurance, registering your business with the Secretary of State, either as an LLC or sole prop as a DBA, something like that, getting your federal EIN, opening your business bank account, hiring TikTok accountant to help you with your finances, making sure you have all your required licenses and permits, which could be a general license at the city or county clerk's office. So those are local or industry specific licenses. Like if I work at a pharmaceutical company and we have pharmaceutical specific licenses, like pharmaceutical manufacturing, pharmaceutical distribution licenses. So that may be required. And then also if you sell tangible goods or something that is subject to state sales tax in your state, which is different everywhere, you're going to get your seller's permit, your state tax ID, and then contracts and policies, which are one of my favorite things. I love doing contracts. And then paying your taxes. So yeah, if you're interested in taxes, go and watch my IG live. I saved it as an IGTV on @LawyerK on Instagram. So I can't figure out, I'm trying also, I'm really sorry about my Lawyer K, that's why. Okay, oh good, I'm live on YouTube. Fun. Okay, great, this is good. Thanks for being so patient with me. This is the first time I've streamed to so many. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll back. Ooh, lots of questions. Okay, good. Super easy when tax. Yeah, QuickBooks, super easy when taxes are due. You really don't want to have to calculate everything for your small business taxes like while you're filling out. And I've actually heard good things about TurboTax. Just make sure that you don't accidentally sign up for something that you have to pay for, even though it says it's free. There was some controversy about that last year. So just read everything that you're signing up for. TikTok accountant prefers QB, QuickBooks Essentials, and self-employed is fine. So Essentials is scalable. So if you have any kind of real growth in your business, make sure that you are signing up for something. So same with business bank accounts. One, if you are a full-time entrepreneur, meaning it is your livelihood, whether or not you're profiting, I recommend going to a bank that's like a bank that you already bank with, or something that I would also call scalable. So I use Chase Bank for my personal banking, and so I went there and I talked to a representative, and they helped me, figure out what accounts to get. And I'm so happy that it's not a different bank than where I bank already, because I feel like that's easy, and then it's what I would call scalable. There was a bank recently, oh my gosh, which one was it, that shut down all the accounts, and it was like a entrepreneur specific kind of bank where I think it was online and there were no fees and stuff like that. Oh, if anyone's in here and knows which one it is, I know it was just a big to-do, and it was really annoying for people. They had to transfer all their money over, and it was, I don't want to guess and get it wrong. So if somebody knows which one it is, just throw it down in the comments. Do you need an EIN? KISS is talking to KMR. I'm going to answer that, but gosh, I've done this one. PPP, seriously new to it. Does it matter which one I get? Is sole or proprietor? So BizBank's highly recommended business bank account. So this is my general recommendation when it comes to business banking and starting a business that you're serious about, where you're not just it's a hobby and you're casually selling on Facebook. If you are trying to make a business that's going to grow, I recommend you just get your LLC as soon as you can. Like put on your big girl pants, big boy pants, and do it. Some states have really expensive LLC formation, and I would never call it difficult because I don't think that any LLC formation is difficult. I think you can DIY it. If you have questions about that, just send me a DM on Instagram and I can send you a how-to guide for your state. Some of them have a couple extra requirements like publishing a news article and stuff, but none of them are something that you can't do. But the reason why you would want an LLC over a sole proprietor, I also consider it to be scalable, because then you would get your EIN in the name of your LLC rather than in the name of you as a sole proprietor. You would get your business bank account in the name of the LLC rather than you, the sole proprietor, and everything, the business insurance, all the things that you're going to do, your contracts that you're going to be signing. So I really recommend people get the LLC pretty much as soon as they feel that they're serious enough about this business. Maybe they've made 10 sales and they're, I guess, depending on how much your products are, but say 10 to 50 or 100 sales even, like get your LLC done, just get it out of the way. It's worth it. It protects you. And then also with a business bank account, it's easier to keep your business assets separate from your personal assets. eBay collects and pays sales tax auto for the seller. Do you need to apply for a sales tax permit? Does eBay do that in every state? Tell me, Chrissy, where you're located, because I know there's something about that with California. Man, my comments are so behind. I love this conversation, y'all, though I feel like I'm just behind. Said to pay LLC and MY's $500, don't have the type of money. Yeah, so Kiss the Skin soaps, I would say you don't have to get an LLC, but there's a certain point in time in your business as you're growing. Like if you hit $10,000 in sales, it will be worth it to pay the $500 for the LLC. If you're slowly moving along and maybe you don't even know what your business name is, because you don't necessarily want to have an LLC in one name and then do a rebrand and have to do a DBA. So it is okay to wait, but I wouldn't go and get a business bank account until you've gotten your LLC. But that's me personally. I mean, business bank accounts are awesome, but the way that I kind of view it is that when it comes to the accounting, if you have enough money coming in and money coming out that it's difficult for you to manage, yes, you need a business bank account and you should get your LLC before you do it. That's my personal opinion. General opinion. Okay, so for business insurance, CMR asks, for service-based businesses, there is a specific name for it. So the SBA.gov, if you go to Google and type SBA business insurance and click on Get Business Insurance is the name of the page, they have this awesome chart. It's called the 6 common types of business insurance. So I would say there's professional liability insurance. That's for businesses that provide services to customers. And if you go look at that table, it'll help explain what it is. Oh my gosh, Kiss the Skin soaps, doesn't matter who answers. I know. I love having other professionals in here. So on IG, I can bring somebody up on with me, and I don't think I can do that on TikTok. So I'm sure you have to be over 18 for an LLC. Yeah, I think most states require you to be over 18, so you'd have to have your parents do it. So I'm assuming that you are under 18 then, Royalty. Motion. Okay, I think my baby's crying. What kind of business insurance do you recommend for service-based business? Okay, answered that. All right, let me know. If I didn't answer your question, y'all just type it again in there. Hey, Robert. I want to make sure that I answer the questions. Oh, yeah, I had that question about eBay. So I know Allie. Is Allie the bank TikTok accountant? Is that the one that closed? All right, let me see how my baby's crying. She should be napping. This is why I don't want to go get her yet, because she should be. Oh. Yeah, she's crying. So I'm going to have to go get her in a sec. Making a good amount, but varies. It's not consistent. Massachusetts, they auto collect in any state that demands marketplace. Yes, that's what it's called, the marketplace sales tax. So just know that that's not everywhere though. So I guess Massachusetts and California have this marketplace sales tax thing, which for anybody who doesn't know what that is, if you live in either of those states, and there might be other states that have it, so Google your state marketplace sales tax and see if you have a state rule on it. So basically, when you sell tangible products, I'm in Georgia. I don't think we have the marketplace thing. But I sign up with the state's Department of Taxation or Department of Revenue or something like that. It's similar names to that, to get your seller's permit or sales tax ID. And the reason why I have so many different names is because every state calls it something different. And someone like TikTok Accountant might be able to help you specifically identify for your state. But you should be able to find the information yourself if you Google that. How do I need to pay sales tax in X state? And so when you sell your items, even on Etsy, if you're not a marketplace seller state or whatever, you have to collect sales tax and pay it to your state and local jurisdictions if the purchaser of the item is in your state. So depends on amount of revenue if you have a certain nexus with other states as to whether you need to sign up to have a tax ID in another state as like a foreign seller. But most small business owners, most people in my community and in my audience aren't nearly that big. Like in Georgia, just as an example, you would have to have, I think it's $100,000 in revenue in sales in the state of Georgia in a year. So by that point, you have a fully like either an accountant on staff or you have an accounting firm that does everything for you. So for most small business owners, you really just need to worry about the sales tax in your state. If you're in a state with the marketplace and you sell only on Etsy, meaning you don't sell at shows, you don't sell on Facebook. Well, I don't know if Facebook counts as a marketplace, but you don't sell on your website, for example. This is only if you have a marketplace. Then in those states, the marketplace itself, so Etsy, for example, is actually collecting and paying the tax, and you're considered more of a vendor to Etsy. I don't know if vendor is the right word here, but basically you are not responsible. It is the marketplace that is responsible. I don't really know the rationale behind that law. I don't think it's bad, but I'm interested because normally there's some sort of policy decision in making laws like that. Okay, so many messages. This is really great, y'all. You're so welcome. Don't get it until you start making money. Yeah. How I want to do it. What if you're running a business and it's under your parents' name? Does it affect their taxes? Yes. TikTok Accountant, jump in if you're still here. So what I know from a legal perspective, generally speaking, parents are responsible for the actions of their children. So say outside of the business context, if you, I don't know, steal your neighbor's car and you're under 18 and crash it, it's not necessarily you that's responsible for that. It's your parents. That's by law. So when it comes to businesses, I think there's a parallel there. So the profits of a business, like a sole proprietorship or a single member LLC, we'll keep it simple, are those of the owner. So if the owner is your parent, then yes, your parent has that money. Your parent has the liability that comes along with it. Ultimately, if they disperse money to you through that, I know that minors have to pay taxes, but I also know that parents, this is with an asterisk because I think this is 100% true, parents may opt to file taxes on the money earned by their children. So jump in if there's an accountant in the room still who can help answer that question. But generally speaking, yes, your parents are going to be ultimately responsible for a lot of what you do as a small business owner who's a minor. So Massachusetts, auto collect in any state that demands marketplace. Okay. Let me know if anybody knows if there's another state that has that marketplace rule. I can also Google it in a minute. Let's see. Oh yeah, the baby's crying. Okay, I'm gonna go get her. We'll see if I'll leave it live and come right back. If she doesn't allow me to keep doing this, then I'm gonna have to close it down. But feel free to ask more questions. Maine. Does Maine also have marketplace? All right, hold on, BRB. Okay, we're back. We'll see if this works, everybody. Yeah. Okay. This is Rosalind. Rosalind, say hi. Say hi to the internet peeps. Okay. I'm gonna turn this on. I'm gonna get back to the questions. I know. My baby. Okay. Does anybody other child like Cocomelon? Okay, I got it going. Okay. Oh, good. Lots of questions. Etsy will collect and pay sales tax for you. So my question also, TikTok accountant, is if Etsy does it for you, quote unquote, like, are you involved at all? Or is it just that Etsy does it, period, and that you don't have to? That's my question about the marketplace thing. My site, I don't know who's asking if this is TikTok accountant or me. I'm startupheartup.com. TikTok accountant, put your site too. Still need the tax permit even though they collect and pay the tax for the seller. So I don't know if this has been answered yet because I'm on some older comments, but Chrissy, you would need the sales tax permit. If say you're in California and you sell on Etsy, you don't need the tax permit if you only sell on Etsy. But if you also sell anywhere else, like to your friends or at shows or marts or things, or on your own website like Squarespace, then you still have to get it anyway. It just means that you don't have to do it. You don't have to collect the sales tax and pay the sales tax for Etsy sales. Hey, Alyssa. State legislation. I'm so behind on comments. I'm sorry. Okay, what if you're running a business? Okay, so 1099s will be issued to your parents' social security numbers. They would have to report. Love it. Okay, state legislation. Hi! What is your site so we can check it out? Etsy will collect and pay sales tax for you. 6 new messages. Yeah, that's my plan. Right. Just want to say. Start making money. Let's say, okay, so here's a question. So let's say that they're claiming my business. Does an EIN separate the taxes from that they're claiming my business? I wonder if this is still the question about parents, then where can I? Or if it's about Etsy. Let's see if it's been answered. Hi! JC Living, starting a company for interior design organization. How do you suggest? I don't know what the actual question was. Starting a company for interior design and organization, how do you suggest? So I'll answer the question also, but I don't clarify what the question is. If you're just asking generally how to get started with that type of a business and do like legal and make sure that your money is good, I think in most states you're going to want to confirm, but services like consulting services or design services are not going to be subject to state sales tax. So you don't necessarily have to worry about getting a seller's permit, but you may need, well, one, you may need a general license. This is just like the most basic level of permission to operate a business in your local jurisdiction. So usually that's like your city and county have a relationship, and your county clerk will give you like a general business license. And then for some professions, I don't know if design is one of them, but for me as a lawyer, if I wanted to open up my own law firm, I have to get a lawyer, a legal license in the state where I'm practicing. So, lots of professions like doctors, therapists, financial people have to get some sort of license. So food, alcohol, anything that's like a somewhat risky endeavor, I wouldn't call interior design particularly risky, but I would still, if I were you, get like general business insurance and a business bank account and all that. QuickBooks. Starting a company, don't please go check with the state. Would you know how to sign up for a sole proprietor and why? Travel finances. Yeah, so I have Squarespace too. All right, so I can answer the question about New York. Here's my number one tip for people who have questions about registering their businesses. Go to LLC University and find your state's page on it. It does tell you about LLC requirements, so you know, be looking at that, but just to get an idea of what is required. And then when it comes to sole proprietorships in a lot of states, if you're just operating a business using your name, so if I wanted to start my law firm and I didn't want to file an LLC or an LLP, I could just be Kay Gruner lawyer and I would be a sole proprietor. And there's really no benefit for me to register my business as a sole proprietor in the state of Georgia. The reason why I say there's no benefit is that sole proprietors have full liability for all the debts and like liability of their businesses anyway. So you're just paying to essentially have your name on record. But sometimes you will want to register your sole proprietorship as a DBA, doing business as, sometimes it's called an assumed name or a trade name. There's different, again, every state is different. But that's required in a lot of states where you're operating your business as something other than your name, like your last name. So if instead of Gruner Law or Gruner Legal Services, if I was like, startup, hard-up law firm, I would have to file a DBA or an LLC or whatever. But if I was a sole proprietor, off topic, but her jacket, right? There's I know. There's this sparkly unicorn on the back. Okay, you want your spike? We got a little spike. I know, it's an ad. We gotta wait. Just watching Cocomelon. Okay, consult. Okay, so let me know if that answers the question about New York and DBAs. I would guess that New York probably requires you to file a DBA just because New York is one of those slightly more difficult, they have a lot of rules for their businesses, but I'm going to try to look, except my daughter's watching. I know. Just wait a second. I know. Yeah, so in order for me to look, I had to turn her Cocomelon off for a second. Okay. It's right there. Look, you can see it. Okay, so I'm going to do New York requirements for DBA. I feel like there was something else I was about to look up. But she doesn't want me. Okay, it's called assumed name. So I'm going to put her TV back up bigger. I know. All right, so anyway, the topic actually, now it's been a bit. This is being a mom and having a side hustle. This is what it is. Let me know in the comments if you're also a parent trying to do a side hustle. So for anybody, the audience may have changed because it's been a little bit since I brought this up. The topic that I brought up was the fact that small businesses, according to the federal government, there's probably other things that are included, but they include businesses up to 500 employees, which for most people, it's like shocking because when we think of small business in the US, traditionally, most people think of like 10 employees or 20 or maybe 50, but not more than that. And so any of these like benefits or money that's like set aside for small businesses in the US actually, they go to what we think of as small business owners as well, but they're also going to really big businesses. And I'm not, I just didn't know that until yesterday. And when I heard it on Marketplace on NPR, I did a double take and was like, whoa, hold the phone. 500 people is not a small business. Nobody thinks that. So I thought it was really interesting. And I'm going to keep looking into it just a little bit because personally, I think it's actually a little controversial, I think. When I first heard it, I was like, that was crazy. Kisses Skin Soaps Parentitude. Yep. Aw. She's turning 2 in March. And we'll probably have a second soon. That's not a reveal because I'm not pregnant. But you know, it's about time to get that going. TikTok accountant, totally normal, and snack time is not negotiable, right? It's not negotiable. She's gonna start making additional demands too. And now that I've got her and she's watching her video, I can't even check any of the other little streams, but that's okay. TikTok's where it's at, y'all. So PPP limited to business with 300 or fewer. Hey, good to know. Really good to know. I still think 300 is a lot, which I think is why some people feel like maybe it was not exactly fair. I mean, I don't want to say, I hate using the word fair, but it was almost, it's not that it wasn't fair, it's that I think it was presented as made for what we think of as small business owners. And as it turns out, it was made for a much, much, much bigger group that included what we think of as small business owners. What's up, girl? So I'm so curious, actually, TikTok accountant. And what is your first name? Because I'm sure I've seen it, but I don't remember. I want to ask you, I'm reading a book right now. And if anybody else wants to read this book, I want to talk about it. PPP was set up for those with resources to be able to jump on the opportunity much faster. Sheila, that's a nice name. Yeah. And I mean, the way that you put it like that, like, I just can't help but feel disappointed because small businesses, like in our neighborhoods, like where we live, our neighbors who own a business up the street, a lot of those people suffered and actually didn't get any benefit from it either. You know, maybe they messed up. Maybe they really should have jumped on the application faster, or, you know, whatever, like they could have done better, maybe. But it's just kind of sad to think that when it was presented, and a lot of times when we hear like members of Congress or legislators or just leaders in our country talking about helping small businesses, and they're talking about businesses that have 300 up to 300 employees or even 500, it's like, feels ludicrous to me, just because I feel a little bit tricked. I think that's why. Yeah, they're trying to keep their heads above water. I mean, think of all the issues. Think of restaurants where their employees don't know what to do. The mask thing wasn't 100% like clear or figured out right away, and people were still suspicious of, like, you know, the whole thing, which I was not one of those, y'all. But the thought of getting together like complicated paperwork is not, I think that is actually a lot to ask. What we think of as small business owner, someone who's running like a 10 to 50 person, even 50 feels like a lot, honestly. Yeah. Okay. So I was going to ask too, I just started this book today and I so far super love it. It's called Money Smart Solopreneur by Laura D. Adams and host of the Money Girl podcast. So one day I was actually going to talk about taxes. I think it was on TikTok. And on my drive home from work, so I'm going to the office a couple days a week, I just searched the podcast app for self-employment tax and wanted to just listen to something on the way because I'm a lawyer. I don't have specialty in money or taxes. I just have learned these things out of necessity at a basic level. And then we've got people like Sheila of the TikTok accountant who can really get nitty gritty. But I just clicked on a random episode, and it just so happened that this woman, Laura D. Adams, was the guest, and she basically gave this rundown of small business owners and like freelancers and what is self-employment tax and who pays it and how. And it was such a nice little overview. And then she mentioned that she has this book, Money Smart Solopreneur. So I bought it. And I'm actually really happy I did. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm enjoying it so far. Why? What's wrong, baby? Is it spicy? What? What's wrong? You want another one? What is this? She just licked the dog. She just licked her dog. I think she thinks it's spicy. Okay, do you want some water? Kisawa? Did you get any? Need to look it up. Oh my gosh, I would be so excited to like read it with you and talk about it. And if anybody else wants to read the Money Smart Solopreneur book, let me just read a couple of the chapters. I think it is really comprehensive. So yeah, business owners are way too busy pivoting. It's true. Pivot was like the word of the year. Okay, so I have tabbed a couple sections I find particularly interesting. So it does start by going over kind of like some of the more mindset and like decision making about like, do you really want to start a small business? Are you trying to do it on the side? Are you trying to replace your current business? Can you afford it? Do you want to do this? Because it's a lot of work. But what is a W-2? What is the different like terminology you need to know when you're self-employed? And pros and cons of being a solopreneur, blah, 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 keeping or leaving your day job. So I'm actually skipping those chapters and jumping into organizing your solo business, understanding business entities. We've been talking today about sole proprietorships versus LLCs versus, well, we haven't talked about partnerships and corporations, but what I'll say about corporations at least is that it is a very paperwork intensive type of entity, and it requires a lot of documents to be filed, and it requires things like, well, maybe not requires, needs, I think requires, but when you think of a big company with stock, officers, shareholders, directors, board of directors, those are the kind of things that are required with a corporation. And the filing also for taxes can be double taxation. So the entity is taxed as well as the person. 99% of small business owners that I talk to when they describe to me their business say they're like starting a custom charcuterie board. Yeah, I just talked to someone last night about that. I don't know how to say the word, but they make custom boards, and they are like running it out of their home. Probably an LLC, right? You're not going to start a corporation for that. Same with if you are like, you have a particular expertise and you want to start consulting or providing services on your own, probably an LLC, not a corporation. So when you think corporations, it's really more like, you're starting a software company or you're doing something really big and you're getting investors and stuff like that. What's going on? Is it spicy? ¿Te pica? ¿Es picante, mamá? Tomes agua. Oh, she just spilled it on me. Okay, so Erin Whiteclaw. Hey, welcome. Okay, so some other chapters in this book that I'm reading. So going all about your business entities, understanding what they are, opening a business bank account, getting business insurance, operating a home-based business. And then I have like a million notes on this page, which is the chapter on understanding business taxes. So setting up the right way, paying income taxes, what forms do you need, what to know about hiring employees versus independent contractors. That's huge, because if you can delay or prevent being subject to employment law, that is just a great thing. You don't want to get into that too early. There's a lot of obligations and a lot of ways to mess it up. So you want to hire independent contractors rather than employees in most cases. In your Amazon cart now, yes! Let's follow up on it. We should have a book club. Anybody in here, if you're interested in joining our book club, we're gonna maybe have a Zoom chat about it in like a month or something. I really like the chapters. It's so comprehensive that even if there's, 5 to 10 chapters that you're not into, there will be at least another 5 to 10 that you're really into. There's like good information in here. Record keeping rules to live by. Oh, tax deductions, record keeping. Oh, and then it even has this whole chapter on building your own benefits package. I'm not quite ready to read this one yet because I am fully employed. I have a day job. What's up, baby girl? Is it time to go? Oh, sí, mamá. Yeah. Hola. Di hola. Hola la gente. Mira, están. Ahí sigo. So anyway, I'm going to read that book. We're going to connect offline, TikTok accountant Sheila, and anybody else who wants to or has questions or want to keep talking about the definition of small business, which I'm going to look more into because I just really think it's so interesting. Give me a shout. So I hope y'all have a really great day. All right, she's going to go running. You want some soup? Come la sopa? And I'm going to head out. Okay, y'all. Thanks so much for joining. Oh, thank you. Yum, yum. Okay, put that there. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining. Oh, wait. Is there any other sites or apps like QuickBooks that you would recommend? I know. Thanks for joining. We're going to have to maybe do an IG live together or something. TikTok accountant Sheila. And sites or apps like QuickBooks. Actually, if you're still on here, Sheila, do you have any accounting software? I know for service providers, HoneyBook is very well liked in the service providers that I know. At this point, for a lot of small businesses, doing it in an Excel sheet is good enough, but I've definitely heard good things about QuickBooks and HoneyBook. And if there's any other ones, let me know, Sheila, drop it in. And then also, if you leave that as a comment on one of my latest TikTok videos, I'll look into it and then I'll make a reply where I list them out on an actual TikTok. Whoops. I was gonna spill that. All right, so I'm gonna end this